Okay, well, this was actually a unscheduled last speaker, but one who came to me specifically with a request to do so, who I thought obviously would be very important that they do. Rene Kirchheimer is a living example of someone who is here now because of the events at Evian and what happened in Sosua, as well as Edith Meyerstein. He came up to me yesterday afternoon and asked if he couldn't say a few words. Literally 5 minutes. I said, no, just 5 minutes, that's it. So that's the very least I could do. He also is one of the only people who agreed with Jocelyn to give an interview, which actually was on Jewish Life Television back in November of this past year, where he cited his youth growing up there. And so I think it's only fitting that we end this tonight with some words from Rene Kirchheimer, one of the original folks born in Sosua, and the results of this conference. So, Rene, please.
Thank you. Well, I began my speech by saying good evening, but asked that, so I just continue. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's both an immense honor and pleasure to be gathered with all of you in order to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the conference held here at this very site in Evian. Some people considered it a failed effort at its conclusion. However, I am living proof to the contrary. Even though so many nations had other reasons for not being able to raise their quotas for accepting refugees, nonetheless, the fact of their presence captured the world's attention to what was happening, as well as raising the matter to their conscience. Having said that, and here comes the bright side. One nation out of 32 present did offer haven for up to 100,000 refugees, namely my country of origin, the Dominican Republic. Unfortunately, only approximately 700 to 800 could make it across the Atlantic Ocean. Excuse me. Because of the breakout of the war in 1940, the crossings were put to sudden stop shortly thereafter, about 1944. This was due to the fact of the onslaught of the war rendered danger in the ship's route, which was well covered by enemy submarines, the famous U-boats. My German parents were among those that made it in 1941. Back in those first years, life was hard. They led a pioneer's life in a new tropical land. However, one thing was for certain: they were safe and had freedom. Thanks to this little-known republic back then, the Dominican Republic, and the efforts of the American Joint Distribution Committee with its chairman, James N. Rosenberg, who declared the following, and I quote, "Half the world lives now under the shadow of war, persecution, horror, and death. Now an open door of hope beckons. We must carry this endeavor to accomplishment. We dare not falter." End of quote. This was the key to the realization of this worthwhile and humane effort, project, whatever, both of them. The department that dealt with these undertakings, the Agri Joint, established a new corporation named the Dominican Republic Settlement Association, DORSA for short, which Mr. Rosenberg presided, and Dr. Joseph A. Rosen, an agronomist and philanthropist of renown, served as vice president. Maurice Hexter became the president of DORSA in 1943. These three gentlemen owe a tremendous gratitude along with everyone else involved, and last but not the least, the Dominican Republic and its people that gave these refugees a warm welcome, embraced them as one of their own. Briefly, I would like to recount some of my experience while growing up in Sosua, name of our town. I was born 1 year after the arrival of my parents, who arrived in 1941. I grew up until the age of 9 on our dairy farm. After my parents decided to move into town, a section named El Batey of Sosua. The main cause for this decision was to bring me closer to the school in town. I must say that I enjoyed an idyllic childhood. Thinking back to it, I must say it was a paradise. And whenever I get together with my peers at reunions, we hold periodically that they all feel the same way. To conclude, I wish to thank the Foundation Sosua 75 in the person of President Mr. Hugh Baker and the management of Hotel Royal here in Evian, who so cordially extended the invitation to me and my daughter Charis to be in this pleasant surrounding among all of you. Thank you very much.